Tonight, we are getting our first look at body cam video that will be used in an upcoming court battle.
It shows officers talking with a drunk man who went on to cause a deadly crash that injured teens. Lauren Lowry joins us now with more on this new video.
Yeah, so tonight I watched the 12 minutes of this body cam footage here. It's from Goodlettsville Police. It shows them interacting with Stephen Rowe on July 28, 2018. He is clearly drunk, and he tells officers he lost his keys and his car. He says it's stolen. Officers try to tell him his friend probably took it to help him out. And listen to part of the exchange.
All right, well, this is what's going to happen, man. You wait to Toshka Quest taking for report tonight. So I suggest between the hours of 6 a.m. and about 6 p.m. tomorrow, you come and report that stolen. When you're sober.
Yeah, so you hear the officers acknowledge how drunk he is, right? So one officer even speaks with a sergeant for advice on what to do. You only hear one side of the conversation because it's on the phone, but it's clear the message is to not arrest the man. So listen to this next exchange.
But when then it leads us into a new problem, you got to have a place to go before we arrest your PI, and that would really suck. I don't want to go to jail. All right, we don't want to take you to jail, but you got to get your place to go.
Yeah, so that whole thing happened at about 1:30 in the morning. Police say around 4 a.m., Stephen Rowe crashed head-on into a car full of 18 and 19-year-olds. The teens were severely injured. Rowe, who you see in that video, died at the scene.
Oh, wow. Well, police obviously did not arrest the man. So
No.
At this point, did they not try to get him a ride home?
It's interesting because in the body cam footage, you actually hear somebody mention an Uber. Whether an Uber was called, you don't know, because the body cam footage actually ends at some point. Now, sometime during the night, someone either gave him his keys or he found his keys and found his car. 2 hours later, he then died in the crash almost 10 miles away.
Okay, and those pictures of those kids struggling in the hospital, what about some of those teens in the car? How are they doing?
So they're recovering, right? I mean, some of them had really serious injuries, but tonight they were pleased with a judge's ruling that came down just before 6 o'clock, and we covered it as breaking news here, saying the families of those 4 teens could file a civil suit against the officers involved. Basically, they're saying the officers should have given Stephen Rowe a ride home or arrested him for public intoxication. Our crew actually spoke with one of the women tonight who was in the car that night.
I have a severe traumatic brain injury since the coma because a head-on collision with Stephen Rowe. It affects my everyday, and so therefore I want to use that as a way to say, okay, stop and think before turning the keys in that ignition.
The families are also suing Silverado's bar, where Rowe had been drinking that night. A deposition in that suit is scheduled for tomorrow.